Does anyone know about the two jihads? Do you know the word jihad means effort? That's what it really means. But it also can mean a holy war. And once the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was returning from a battle, you know, maybe Uhud, I don't know which one, with his warriors. And they just got home and he turned to them and he said, men, you have returned from the lesser, smaller jihad, the smaller holy war, to the greater holy war. And that is the jihad al-nafs. That's the struggle against the lower things in your soul. And that's actually what we're doing, kids. And that's what Ghazali is about. And that's what the Sunnah is even about. How do you struggle against being lazy, being greedy, you know, being angry and all the rest of it? You think that's easy? You know what? It's the hardest thing in the world. Do any of you find it easier? What are some of the aspects of the jihad al-nafs each one of you are struggling with? Okay, Alpran, what are you struggling with most? What is the hardest thing? Being patient, not being angry. What is the hardest thing you're facing spiritually?
Not being angry.
Oh, you're trying not to ever be angry. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Well, it is hard. Okay, next, everyone's going to say one thing that's harder for them. Have you ever noticed it's sort of easy to be merciful? You can be kind to somebody, but maybe it's hard to be patient, and maybe it's hard not to want the best for yourself. I mean, okay, so you've spoken. All right, who's going to go next? Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Making decisions, like more specifically, like good decisions, maybe.
Making good decisions. You know what? I struggled about that this morning. You know how we talked about having a good idea and then not doing it and the bad idea comes? I had the good idea this morning to actually do the Fajr on time, and the bad idea made me stay in bed, and I felt bad about it because my real self was thinking, you could have just gotten up and done it. So I think that is one of the hardest things. I'm very proud of you for saying that. Next, everyone's got to contribute one thing. Who else? Yes.
I probably think like not knowing my brother and my sister. Like not trying to annoy them.
It's hard not to, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you do when you annoy them? What are the kinds of things you do to annoy them?
I mean, like I really don't annoy them, but like when they get mad, like they just start like, I don't know, start crying and stuff.
Oh, oh, good. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Well, maybe your brothers, maybe your family can just learn patience from you, or mercy. All right, who's next? Next. Everybody's going to say one thing. Yes, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Being on time. Being on time.
Oh, you're one of those, the being on time. Oh my goodness. And why do you think, what's a really good reason for being on time?
So like if you're doing schoolwork, you turn it in when you're supposed to, you can get like more points and more good and better grades. And like if you turn it later, you'll get worse grades.
Oh yeah, you delay it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what about, are you on time if you're going somewhere with your family, or do you hold them up?
Usually my family holds themselves up.
That's very funny. Yeah, because you know, I'm very on time. If I tell someone I'm going to be there at 2 p.m., I am. And you know why I do that? If I don't do it, it's my lower nafs thinking, my time is better than theirs. It doesn't matter. They're waiting. You know, I'm doing my own thing. So who else would like to speak up? Everyone says one thing that they're facing that they have a little trouble with. We all being honest here. Okay. Next. Yes. What about father?
Maybe like forgiving people because
Mhm.
Like sometimes I just feel like I don't want to forgive them, but like then it's better if I do.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, because if you're not forgiving them, you're holding on to something, aren't you? You know,
Mhm.
and Ghazali compares that to having a big weight tied around your neck, like a big sack with a strap around your neck, and you're walking around, and it's heavy and it's a burden, and it's saying, oh, please, couldn't you just forgive that person? It's a heavy weight carrying, not forgiving, you know? And you always feel so good if you just let it go, you know? Yeah. Once there was a lady who was really, really mean to me. You can't imagine, and hurt me in so many ways. And I really talked badly about her, even on top of everything else. And one day, the way I forgave her, I just went and pretended it never happened. And I invited her for a tea, and I felt like a new person afterward. It's a great weight, not forgiving. And of course, remember this, my dear, the thing we love about Allah is he's the forgiver, right? We want him to let stuff go. So imagine if we won't let stuff go, right? We're trying to be like his divine qualities. So thank you for contributing that. Okay, next, who else is going to speak?
May I say one thing?
Yes,
We last time we practiced with the kids.
the stories.
It's a great phrase which is written on the book, and we repeat it. Each kid repeat it, and Allahum, please forgive my friend for doing XYZ mistake to me. So and also please forgive me for
Mhm.
all the mistakes that I have done.
Well, that's so beautiful. That's,
I mean,
I
so
mean,
yeah, yesterday we spoke about this with Sweda.
oh, how
So
lovely. Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, you see, Sweda and all the children here and dad, you know, your father and I, and any parent who else is here, we're all in the same boat. We're on this journey, arm in arm together, right? And it's a journey that is available for all ages at all times. And it's wonderful that we get together and just talk about it and be honest. Because if it's all in your head, sort of back in the back of your brain, you don't deal with it as much. But if you get it up on the front, you know, it really helps you to start. It's hard to correct something if you haven't even identified it, you know, you just feel, oh, you know, but if you get it out there, if you make a list, that's why you have a golden heart and you're supposed to put dots and make a list of what you're working on, because it keeps it out there in front of you. Anybody else? Who else has something that they're working on? Nobody else is here? You're muted.
Kids, can you unmute yourself and just speak,
Yeah,
please?
everybody
I look-
unmute. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody unmute. Who hasn't spoken yet? Did we play last week, everybody, that game where you said once upon a time, you told a story of somebody who had a good thought and then the bad thought came in? Did we play that game last week?
Yes.
That was
Yeah, we did.
that's a really good game, you know. Yeah, because it's so easy just to forget, you know, that you've got to use your daily life to, you know, become a better person. And you all know that next week we're going to meet with the class in Dubai and London. We're going to have a group class. Did you not remember that? And we're doing chapters 33 and 34. So I want you to really read them and be smart. I don't want you to be dumb in front of these other class, okay? It's easy. These are just children's books with really deep ideas. Today I reread the story about the lion and the jug. And I thought, God, it sounds like it's written for like 5-year-olds, but what's in it is really for anybody. It's so deep. So we're going to talk about it when your father gets these other people on the line. And do you all have snow up there?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot. I haven't been out of the house for 1 week because it's so bad. And even my husband drives, but if you step on the driveway, it's so icy you can slip and fall. there were a bunch of deer eating our bushes yesterday morning, 5 of them, and 2 of the little male bucks came right up to the house and they were eating the bushes, and they started across the driveway and their legs went like this because it was so slick, even the deers couldn't stand up. Hello, Ahmed, how are you today? Ahmed Sil.
I'm good.
It's okay. Yeah.
I am good.
What have you been doing? What are you going to do this afternoon?
Can you say it again?
How are you going to spend this afternoon? What are you going to do today?
Oh, I have, after this class, I have another class for Islamic studies and stuff.
Oh, you poor thing, all these classes. Oh, how awful.
That's okay.
It's not bad. I mean, are you all in school or doing school online right these days?
We're doing school online,
Yeah.
but only on Tuesdays and Fridays. For me, I go to school, and my brother goes to school on Tuesdays and Fridays, like
Yeah.
physically, but
Yeah.
rest of the days remote.
Well, it just goes on and on, doesn't it? You know? So have the others come yet or not yet?
I called them. They thought that there's no lesson today, so they are joining shortly.
Okay, good, good. Because, all right, well, it gets confusing, you know, because last week I couldn't, I mean, I forget all the things that come up in my life. You know, I woke up this morning and my husband said he does the vacuuming here, and because he wants, because we don't have anybody cleaning the house anymore and there's spider webs everywhere. He said, now you'll be on your class, so I can't vacuum in the kitchen. This is where I am. And I said, the class? And of course I'd already forgotten. So good. So, all right, as Haldoon, what are your, what have you been up against with your Jihad al-Nafs? What are some of your major issues? What are your hardest?
Anger issues.
Oh no.
Yeah, I get angry.
Hate that. Yeah.
And I hate it too. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my biggest thing. And I try not to get angry ever, but I do. Inshallah, hopefully it gets better.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
yeah.
I mean, it was a long process because we came from Turkey just in a second. We
Yeah.
had to come. So restarting the life and starting new profession, which I didn't know before. So I think, I mean, that caused, but alhamdulillah, everything is good. And hopefully with the help of Sueda, Haluk, Alperen, and also İlknur, inshallah.
They can remind you, and you know, if you're getting angry at the house, they can just put up their hands and do this or something. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if you're angry, go lie flat on the floor. It's really hard to be angry when you're lying down. And I think I told you the Dalai Lama story about anger. I'll tell it one more time.
Yeah,
I'll
please.
tell it one more time because all these stories are worth telling 1,000 times. Okay. And the Dalai, until the others get on, is that the Dalai Lama said, okay, if you burnt your hand cooking, would you be angry with fire? No, you just say fire burns. You objectively, the nature of fire is to burn. So you bear witness. That's it. You don't like, you know. So then the next thing he said, so if a person does something that makes you angry, you know, like I do lots of things that make my husband angry. I leave the doors of cabinets open. You know, I take a glass out and leave the cabinet open. Well, anyway, he's telling me I've got to quit doing that, but I don't remember I do that. I don't even notice I'm doing that. So if instead of being angry, what you have to do, if somebody really makes you angry at your school or in your home or something, you have to realize that each person is acting out of their own nature. That's the way they are. So if I'm the way that I am and I can't help about shutting the cabinets, right? Why should poor Neville, like, he now, when you become angry, your whole body feels changed. You know, you can feel a change in your body. It's very upsetting. If you're really angry, it's even hard to walk upstairs afterward. So why should you be angry, Khaldun, right? And wreck your whole inner equilibrium, your inner peace, your inner balance, just because of somebody else's nature. It's the way the thing is. It is as it is, and we all do it. We all get angry all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do it all the time. I have somebody I'm angry with all the time, and it's her nature, right? And I'm going crazy from it. I'm glad we're having this discussion, because maybe I should get on top of this. It's making me sick. Okay.
And when you mentioned the Dalai Lama's story, I remembered Bediüzzaman Said Nursi.
Oh, Said Nursi. Yes, I know.
Said Nursi, yes. He says like the entire humanity are throwing themselves to the Jahannam because of all this materialism, all these like disbelief system. And he says there are some people like who are just making small obstacles in front of me. So who cares? So I think like my problem is just there was a gap and not to focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
That's why, Alhamdulillah, this Ghazali Children Project that we are trying to do, Alhamdulillah, it helps me personally.
Me too.
A lot. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You know, if you hadn't looked for a teacher and I couldn't find one except me, actually what it was Allah was giving me a chance to go back to these stories that I wrote, 6 years ago, you know, and of course they're out my head. And now with the wisdom I've gained in the past 6 years and trying to be better I mean, I read today the story of the lion very carefully, and I took notes, and I got a lot out of it. And I was just telling your kids, I thought it was a baby story, and I started reading it. It's real, you know, it's real.
Yeah.
And I think that's, it's unfortunate that books 1 and 2 were written for little children, because maybe teenagers think they're babyish, but the truth is they were written, it was all written for scholars, not even adults. They were written for high-powered theologians. And I just simply put them into our language. And I'm sorry if they seem babyish, but the thoughts are really big and heavy duty. Yeah. So that's good what you said, you know, about facing these things. And well, anyway, speaking of Turkey, one of your sons, who is it who saw the whole Ertugrul series? Somebody. You're muted. You're muted.
Haluk watched all of them, and now he started Kuruluş Osman, so the Ottomans. Okay,
good. Well, we finished last night episode 4, and there's 1 to go. There was 90 in number 4, and we've now gotten them to the town of Sogut. Where is that? Neville and I don't know where that is located.
It's in Bilecik. It's south of Marmara Sea. It's a small city, and it's a very small town between the mountains, beautiful area in south of Marmara Sea, very close.
Where is the Marmara Sea? Where is that located?
It's just south of Istanbul, but Istanbul has, Marmara Sea's shores are on Istanbul all the way to Aegean Sea.
Oh, you mean the Sea of Marmara is one side is Istanbul and the other side is Asia. Yeah, where I've been.
Yes. And also the south side is Bursa, Bilecik, Balıkesir. So Söğüt is south of Marmara Sea.
I see.
It's a beautiful place, and inshallah, I'm sorry. Inshallah, we would love to go. We would love to go all together. By the way, I am not the host anymore. So could you admit the Yashar family is waiting?
How do I do it?
If you please, touch on my name and make me co-host, because I made a mistake and I made you host and lost my host.
Okay, I just clicked on you just now.
Okay. Okay.
It worked?
Yes, it worked. Now I included all of them. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, great. So the Steve Marmar, because it always amazed Neville and me that they could leave where they were and they could get to Konya so easily. They could get to, they could go to um, Aleppo, you know, so I realized they're over in that area, you know, but Aleppo is all the way around at the corner, you know, when you're going along the southern coast of Turkey, and then you make a right, that's where Aleppo is. I mean, that's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I've been to that beautiful place where the fish are, where Abraham, what is that called? Not Orpha. I've been to Orpha.
Urfa, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
City of prophets.
City, yeah, very beautiful.
Yeah.
So is everybody here? I can't see more pictures coming on yet.
Yes. Haluk, can you show your face, please? Everybody, kids, Ahmed.
I'm on my
Can you
phone, so
turn
it's
on
hard
your-
to show my face.
Yeah.
Just-
yeah.
I'm on my phone.
It's just so we know everybody's here.
Ahmed, can you show your face, please? Turn on your microphone and your camera. It looks everybody's here.
All right. Is everybody ready then? Should we do this lesson?
Yeah, please, we can start. Yeah,
We're going-
everybody's here.
Okay. All right, everybody. We've had a very good talk waiting for the other family. I'm sorry you all weren't aware that we were meeting. And I don't know whether you know this, but it was agreed last week that next week we'll meet at 10 rather than 11, because we're going to join the classes that I teach with Dubai and London at the same time. So you can meet some other young people. Maybe you can become pen pals with them or just have them as friends. I don't know whether it'll be a one-off, but we're going to do chapters 33 and 34 together. And I was telling the young people here, I want you all to really be careful with them, because I want you to come off smart, okay? These other kids have been with me now for a year and a half, okay? And they're all ages. They go from like 5 years old to 19. And sometimes the 5-year-olds they're the only ones that give the right answers, you know? And so we have a bunch of mothers. So it would be nice, Khaldun, if you sent me, again, a list, an email list of everybody's names, your parents' names, the children's names and ages. And then I'll get them to do the same so that we don't have to waste a lot of time with introductions. Okay, so everybody, the assignment today was for chapter 32, which was called The Lion and the Pitcher or something like that. So let's see if you get the idea, all right? In the story is, if you were out in the forest and a lion attacked you, or you were at the zoo, and somebody rushed out and saved you, would you thank that person? Everybody turn off your mics and you can all talk, okay? Would you all thank him or her?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Because they saved your life, right? Okay. Now, then what about someone like Imam al-Ghazali, who has given you these materials in this wonderful way, and your parents have made it possible to also save your life? What life are they? What is the life that's being saved? What are you being protected from and saved from by studying Imam al-Ghazali? Does anyone know? Yes, go ahead, Taib.
Allah. Allah.
Yes, you're being protected by Allah. And if you didn't have these lessons and you didn't watch your golden heart, what could happen to you?
Would have died.
Yeah, the heart could die. You're right. It could shrivel up. But also, I mean, you're learning from Imam al-Ghazali not to be angry and not to gossip and not to waste your time. If you did all those terrible things, would you be ready to go to the next world when you die?
No.
No, you wouldn't. No, you'd be wasting your life, right? And so, you know, I once had a teacher, He was a beautiful spiritual man. He lived in England, and I went and took lessons from him every week, just like you're coming to me. And he was a very famous man. Do you know Martin Lings? He wrote the wonderful biography of the Prophet. And he died, I don't know how many years ago, right? And he was a great example of how to be a correct Muslim. He was always, he died when he was 96 years old. But the way he was, when he spoke to you, say, I'm speaking to Alperin, you know, the way he spoke, he always spoke to the highest part of you, like that you were the most amazing, perfect being. He didn't speak down to you like you're some kind of person who misses prayers or is not nice to people. And so when he spoke to you at your highest level, you rose up and you were that because that's who you really are. And I remember thinking, you know, after he died, he gave his life for teaching us the truths and the way to be that we need. That's what human life is for. And what's the best way I could thank him? By actually doing what he was teaching us, right? So how do we thank Imam al-Ghazali? Look at all he went through. He left his job. He walked for 10 years. He went through many trials. And finally, he wrote all these beautiful things. So the best way to thank him for saving our inner lives, for showing us the way we can reach paradise, what's the best way we can thank him? Yes.
By doing what he said.
Perfect. There's the perfect answer. All right. It's even the way you can thank your parents when they tell you things like, don't be so lazy. You should really thank them because they're not trying to be mean. They're trying to help remind you the best way to be. So we should all be full of gratitude all the time, shouldn't we? So, and then of course, one of the things we studied in the last chapter was about not wasting our time. And Ghazali basically says, if you take your day and you look at all, let's say you're asleep for 8 or 9 hours, look at all the rest of the hours. You do so many eating, so many sleeping, so many studying, so many sports, and then we think Allah, he is the one who gave us everything. He gave us our wonderful parents and our beautiful homes and our good health and the people we love and a beautiful earth and a sun. And how much of the day do we give for him? Like, do we say the prayers? Do we remember him just by being nice to people? So the problem is, Ghazali also in our last chapter told us, be careful not to waste all of your time and to really set aside, each of you, periods. And that's what's so great about Islam. You've got 5 prayers a day where you actually have to stop and think about everything. Do you know that like most of the people in the world today are just taking meditation classes, right? Mindful meditation. And they try to stop for 2 periods a day, if they can possibly remember to, and be present to God in their hearts and be at peace. But look how lucky Muslims are. Everybody's got to 5 times a day stop and do wudu, and it takes a lot of time. And wudu is so that you have a nice transition to your prayer. You don't want to be watching Batman and then just standing up and saying Allahu Akbar. There's got to be a transition. So we're lucky we're given 5 times a day. We can reflect. And maybe we rush through 3 or 4 of the prayers a day because we're in a rush, but all of a sudden you're praying and it's a time where you have a problem and you're worried about your grandmother, say, and suddenly there you are in front of Allah, and it's like a communication is open and you can talk to him and ask his help and his guidance and his forgiveness. So we're really lucky to have the 5 prayer periods, believe it or not. It's really lucky. So those are some of the things that we have to thank Al-Ghazali and thank Allah and thank our parents for, that we are given these ways of not wasting our time and doing something real. So then they talk about the teachers you have, your parents, your school teachers. Al-Ghazali, they have a certain wisdom and a knowledge they're passing on. if you don't have knowledge, if you're dumb or ignorant, what are some of the ways that can be dangerous? Let's say in your life, let's say you're ignorant, you don't know that you shouldn't stick your finger in an electric plug. You could die, right? Think of everybody say a few ways that if you're ignorant of something or dumb about it, it can be dangerous. Tell one thing in the physical body and one thing in the spiritual life. Okay, you want to go ahead and start, Alperin, because you're on screen? What's something dangerous that could happen in your life if you don't know about it?
Maybe if you're maybe if you're sledding down a mountain, but you don't know if
Mm.
you don't know if it's gonna be off a cliff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a very good example. And what something in your personal life with your religion, what are some, if you're ignorant of something, if you don't know about it, what would happen to you? Let's say you did go ahead.
Maybe if you didn't pray, you wouldn't go to Jannah.
Yeah, maybe if you didn't pray, you wouldn't have a hotline to God when you need him, you know? Right. Okay. Tayyib, would you like to go next?
Choking.
Cooking.
Choking. Choking.
Choking. Oh, you mean if you didn't know you shouldn't eat fast or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's something that could be dangerous about having no patience? If you didn't have any patience, what is the dangers if you didn't know about patience?
You can choke and die.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what about Ahmed Jazar? Yes, go ahead, Ahmed.
So you can do first if you what was it? If you jump on the couches and then you land head first.
Oh my goodness. But then if you know that's dangerous, you won't do that, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
what's something dangerous that could be dangerous to your golden heart in your spiritual life?
For religion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Say,
praying like very fast.
yeah, very good. That could be dangerous, couldn't it? Why is it dangerous?
Because like you don't read all the surahs and stuff.
That's right.
There's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
movements.
Yeah, you're missing out on all of that. That's really true.
And if you like listen to Shaitan.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Oh, that is a major danger. Good for you pointing that out. My goodness. All right, who's next? Halak, you want to say something?
Oh yeah, like something like physical. Would
Yeah.
it be like eating like poisonous food?
Yeah.
Like, and then for like mental or like for your golden heart,
Yeah.
maybe if you like curse,
Yeah. What
like
would
that'll
happen?
affect your heart.
Yeah.
Like will affect your heart.
Of course, exactly that. You know, poison, yeah, they always tell you don't go eat mushrooms out in the forest or outdoors in a garden because you don't know if they're poisonous. So you know that. So you're knowledgeable about that. So you just don't pick up a mushroom anywhere, right? Just, you wouldn't do that. And you're quite right about using, they say the mouth, the beautiful mouth that Allah gave you for reciting Quran and giving salams. Imagine using that to use horrible words, using your beautiful mouth and breath to do that. Terrible for you. Okay, who else? Everyone else. We have to have something from everybody. Good. Yes.
Maybe like I was thinking maybe if you don't check if like food is like halal or not, and like you just like eat it, that could be bad for like the afterlife because it's like haram.
That's a good point. You got two in one. Yeah, that's really good. Because you think everything we're talking about today, how can angry be, how can being not generous be dangerous? How can be being mean be dangerous. It's dangerous for your golden heart, isn't it? Right? It really is. That's a good point.
I have one.
Yes, go ahead, Ezra.
So I have one for the patience. You know how you said how being impatient could be bad? I have one for that. Like if you lose your temper very quickly, it could be really bad. Like maybe you could say something to that person, like when you're angry, that you could regret later on. And maybe they'll be really mad at you, and maybe they won't forgive you for like, I don't know, maybe they won't forgive you for a while, and you'll live with that like regret.
You see, that's exactly it. But because you have knowledge about it, you know it, you can avoid it. You see, so these are all dangers that that's a very good thing to avoid. And we know about it because we're taught this by Allah. We're reminded about this by Ghazali and by our parents. So this is real knowledge. We're talking today about the knowledge that saves. You know, the lion, of course, that the lion story, we know that he saved his physical life, but then the spiritual life is the one that's really, really, really important. Anyone else? Who else would like to speak today? So
I also have one.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, hi.
Okay, so for my golden heart, it would be not to do bad things. Like let's say I lose in a game of basketball with my friends, so and I don't get mad at and I get mad at them.
Yeah.
And I kind of like push them around.
Oh yeah. That's very bad, but yeah.
Like something that's dangerous is probably like smoking, because other people don't know that smoking is like really bad for you.
Yeah, yeah. It really is, isn't it? Yeah. I hope you never smoke. You got muted. I can't hear what you're saying right now.
I'm done.
Oh, you're done. Okay, good. All right, Sweda, did you say something already? You did, didn't you? Yes. Who didn't contribute yet?
I think everybody did, I guess.
Yeah, because I think this is an important thing that everyone has a chance to think about it. You know, there's physical dangers all around, like falling on the ice. My husband says, hang on to the car, walking around, my feet going like this, I get hit in my head. There are physical dangers all around, like you forget to turn off the flames and you're cooking, you know. I mean, we know, we've learned, we have knowledge about that. But what we're learning now with this meetings on Sunday is we're learning other dangers that are much, much more important. I have a few friends right now who are dying of cancer. You know, they'll be dead in a few hours, you know. One of them, she's from Pakistan, and she gave me this beautiful bracelet a long time ago, and I'm in a ring, and I'm wearing it just to have her with me. She lives in England. And, you know, what can I say to her husband, except she's about to go into the great peace, leaving duality, you know, right, wrong, bad, good. That's where we suffer. But la ilaha illallah, there isn't anything but that. It's oneness, it's peace, it's stillness. In stillness and quiet, there's no other stuff screaming at you. So her great soul, inshallah, is now going back into Allah's presence. So that's what's important. I'm not saying, oh, it's horrible, she's dying, right? Like if you got electrocuted by touching a lamp. This was her time. We know that. Allah gives us our time. The important thing is she is saying La ilaha illallah all the time. She has had a life of prayer. This lovely girl, she was taking care of Martin Lings when he died, and his wife, you know, and she's given her life in service. So I'm not worried about her soul, right? We're all going to die. So even if you do some horrible thing, eat a bad mushroom and get poisoned, that's it. The body's going to go. But the really scary death is that you didn't take care of your soul. And that's why we're just being honest and talking about it. And if we didn't talk about it, we might not remember it as well. So,
yeah. So is she in the hospital right now?
There's no point anymore. You know, they have
Yeah.
a hospice. Yeah. Yeah. She got
Yeah.
throat cancer and chin and cancer of the jaw, and they were going to remove her whole side of her face, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
Allah knows the best. And
He does.
inshallah, she goes to Jannah, like you said.
You know, children, you know, you think you have a million years in front of you because, you know, you're young and you've got to go through high school and college and get married and have children and get a job. Is a lot of time out there. But at the other side of this, you know, you get there, it goes pretty quickly. And it just seems like their time, but there's really only now, right now. We're present together. We've always got right now. And so we just want to be as good as we can in the now. All right. So then,
I didn't say.
oh yeah, good. I wish you would.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So for the. Like if you don't know how to stop when you're skiing down a hill.
That's a great example. Yeah.
And when
Wow.
you're fasting, like the story with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, asking these two women to
Yeah. Throw up in the pot. Yeah.
you've broken your fast.
Yeah, exactly. By gossiping, right? By talking badly about people, right?
Sir, I wrote a homework for kids for next week. So they will read chapter 33 and 34, and we will start at 10 a.m. I added one more homework if, I mean, you think that's a good idea.
Please.
If each kid can make a video of themselves and tell what they have learned so far
I'd love
by
it.
attending Ghazali school and their aha moments. So something which clicked. So I think it's going to be nice. I mean, if we listen from each kid what they have learned so far.
That makes me cry. It's such a good idea. That's a great idea. And even, when he was just talking about, about the dangers of backbiting, and he remembered the story, the prophet's story about the women, who broke their fast by backbiting. That's an aha moment. He could even talk about that because that affected me too, So yes, a moment where something has clicked, where something is working in your life, I mean, like you talking about your anger, that could be your aha moment. Maybe. All right. Now, also, we get knowledge from many sources. All right. And we're talking about spiritual knowledge. Certainly, we get knowledge from our parents, and from our teachers. What are some of the other ways you are learning, getting knowledge, everybody? Spiritual knowledge. Just some of the experiences. What are some of the ways, or maybe you were watching television and you saw a horrible story and it told you, oh, I don't want to be like that. I mean, we're getting ideas, not just from our teachers and parents. What are some things that happen in your life? Maybe, what I think, was it Soeda talking about not forgiving somebody, and she discovered that it was heavy on her. So any ways that you all, if you, because we learn things. No, let's look at it this way. When that man saved the other man from being eaten by the lion, the man didn't think, oh, the man who saved me, was he rich? Was he famous? Was he poor? It didn't matter who the man was. So there are many ways we're learning things. It could be from television. It could be from something that happened at school. So if anyone can think of something that they've seen or read or experienced that taught them something, just other ways of knowing things. Okay. Can anyone answer that? It's hard, but you should be able to do it. Yes. Okay, Ahmed.
Wait, can you remember what the question was again?
There's different ways we learn things from teachers and from Quran teachers and our parents, but other things happen in our lives where we get lessons. you know, that teach us, oh, I shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't do that. It could be a film you saw. It could be something that happened. What are other ways, experiences that are teaching you how to be a better person?
Like learning and reading Quran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It teaches you, like, you get to understand it more. If you understand the Quran, you will.
That's right. If you understand it, exactly, from reading Quran, that is one of the ways you can learn. That's very important. Everybody else?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
So I remember I had this friend, she in Macedonia, she lives in Macedonia, and she used to be really nice, and like she used to dress really appropriately, but over time, like she just dressed shorter and shorter, and like her sleeves got shorter and shorter. And I saw that like people could change really quickly. Like she used to be so nice. I used to be really close friends with her. And you know, now she just dresses that way, and like I could see how people change. And like when you realize that it helps you like avoid it. And like also the hijab, when you wear a hijab, it helps you like get protected from things like that. It protects you from things like that. So
it
yeah.
does. It really does. It honestly does. Well, that's very good observation that you learned. Yeah, that's good. I like your story. Yeah.
Alperen, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
I sometimes see that people are talking bad to their mothers and talking bad to them, and I don't want to be like that because they're mean usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you learned from that, right? You watched it and you didn't like it. This is another way we learn. We see something horrible happening and we learn, I don't want to be like that, right? Very good point. Okay, somebody else? Yes. Yes. Tayyip, go ahead.
Someone in my class in 3rd grade always talks back to the teacher. So I saw him do that, and I tried not to talk back to the teacher, even though I never talked back to the teacher.
Mm-hmm. You see, that's a perfect example. At that moment,
it helps me avoid it.
Yeah, it helps you. You learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we learn from our experiences, don't we? You know, it's true.
May I say one thing?
Yes.
I see some adults, they have been like playing on their computers like since they were kids. For example, I know some of my friends, they always played on computers and spend less time doing sports and interacting with other people.
Oh,
so I see that they are like very lonely, and their social skills did not improve.
Well, you learned from that, didn't you? You noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you noticed it. That's something that we should keep an eye out. That's a very good lesson we can all learn, isn't it? My iPhone, even at the end of the day, tells me how many hours I was on it. It's horrifying, you know? I'm drowning in information, actually. Okay, somebody else, an experience that happened and made them think, that they learned something from. Anybody else?
Unmute yourself, Shweta.
I've noticed, like, kind of like what Azra said, like most of my friends as we're getting older, they kind of start like dressing more inappropriately and kind of like saying bad words. And like I was like thinking to myself, like I never want to be like that, but like if I hang around them, then like there's a chance I might. So I kind of like push them away kind of because I don't want to be in that way and like be the way that they are.
You're really wise. And there's so many hadith and things about the company you keep has a huge influence on you. And, you know, these girls, they probably just feel they want to be more accepted by a certain group of people, or, you know, it's the in look. And, you know, inshallah, they will experience something in that experience that will turn them back, you know, after a while. I heard a talk by Hamza Yusuf. I might send it to you, Khaldun, and you can send it to everyone. He was talking about the Muslims, was to talk about two things: the Muslims, why they should accept people from other religions, right? And he's talking about how it says in the Quran, Allah, if Allah had wanted to make everybody Muslim, he could have done that, but he wanted us to know one another, and different things. And I have sent religion to every people at all times in the world in their own language. Like if they're Eskimo, they hear the Eskimo story kind of thing. So he was talking about that. And in the middle of the talk, he said something really powerful, and it's honestly helped me so much. He said, everybody you meet, your mother, your father, your friends, me, each one of us is on our own path. Nobody does their Islam exactly the same. And we all have different kinds of weaknesses, like your friends wanting to dress this way right now, right? But you don't know, we can't judge it, because he said there's been some Muslims who just give it all up and start drinking and get to alcohol. And that's part of their path, because like Khaldun said, all of a sudden they see how horrible it is, right? Like the computer thing. And they may use it as a point to really turn around, because Muslims are told you shouldn't drink alcohol. It's bad outweighs its good. Well, maybe some Muslims need to actually do it to really understand how bad it is. So if you have a friend that's dressing badly or doing something wrong, of course you want to be a good example, and you might advise them. But in the end, you can't say to somebody, do your Islam exactly the way I'm doing mine, because each person's path is slightly different. So that thing that Hamza Yusuf said to me really helped me, because I've seen times where I went down, did this, didn't do that, did that, was upset about this. And when I look back at all my deviations, I see that they were teachers to me. I learned a lot. I experienced through doing something wrong, how wrong it was. So with these girls, they're kids, they want to be popular. They want to look like everybody. Nobody wants to be different, and inshallah, they'll make it through this phase. But isn't it better not to have gone through that phase, particularly as young ladies, So I just wanted to throw that out. Now, another thing Ghazali is saying is that he said, here's an image you can pretend to be. Everybody, I want you to all pretend you're lying on the ground and you're dry, parched, dusty earth. Okay, is everybody there? We're all dry, dusty earth, and nothing can grow. Okay, all of a sudden, beautiful rain gently falls all over us, and grass begins to grow out of us, right? This is quite an image. So Ghazali is using this as an image, that the rain that comes to us, that gives us the ability to grow fresh grass, are all these lessons we're talking about, right? I mean, in the world, you can get a new computer, and your father can get a new car, and you can go to a great restaurant, but that's not causing the grass to grow. That's just biding your time. But your soul, once you start taking in these wonderful ideas and start to being able to use them in your lives, that actually, it'll be refreshed. It's rain. What's coming into you from Imam al-Ghazali is rain coming into dried parts of your soul. And it's giving you, and little bits of grass are going to pop up here and there. So I just think that's a great image. If any of you wanted to draw it as an art project, it would be good. Mm-hmm. Then he said, there's something you have to really watch out for. And actually, we made the chapter. The picture in the book was a little girl pouring water into a glass, and it was going all over the place. That was my husband's granddaughter. She's now like 15 years old. But anyway, I got her to pose for the picture. Imam al-Ghazali says, often many of us, we feel we know. I know. We're know-it-alls. We think we know it. And when our teacher is teaching us something, we're thinking of something else. We're full of our own thoughts. He said, we have to be like empty glasses to receive what's coming in. Because if you're already full of yourself, I know it, I know that already, I know enough of it. If you're already full, like the glass of water, and then more knowledge is getting poured in, it just pours out and gets wasted. So kids, you all don't want to waste this knowledge, right? Don't let it just pour off. You've got to open your hearts and be empty to it, and come in a really humble, open, empty way and think, I don't really know all this stuff. I really don't know what Ghazali is trying to
12 o'clock.
Huh? Somebody spoke?
Shweta, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my computer like says
No, it said 12 o'clock. It's good because I have to go, but I have to finish a few little things. And so Ghazali says, a teacher is like an ocean, you know, and he's a great teacher. We have to be like little jugs, little cups to receive that knowledge. And he said, and everybody, we're starting small. If you were going to learn to swim and you didn't know how to swim, would you go in the deep water or would you go in the shallow water? What would you do?
The shallow water?
Yeah, we're in the shallow water right now, but we're going to be able to go deeper and deeper into wisdom and knowledge by really trying to practice these things and being open, and listening to this stuff, and know that your dads and moms are going to all this trouble to get you all to do this on your Sunday morning when you'd rather be doing anything else. But actually, this is like your parents are like the people who are saving you from the lion. You don't know the dangers that are out there for your hearts, and they're out there waiting. It's the little whispering waswisu, the little shayateen. So this is the most important knowledge you're ever going to have. You're going to learn how to make money. You're going to learn how to go to college. You're going to learn everything else. But this knowledge is the only knowledge that's going to work for you in the long run to get you to your own hearts, to be who you already are. So I've got to go. A friend of mine, there's a section in Louisville that's very poor downtown. And I hate to say it, but it's where a lot of the African Americans live, and they don't have anything down there. And a friend of ours, African American, she put together a gigantic sports arena in the middle of this very poor place where kids can come and do education and sports, and it's state of the art, and kids will come from everywhere. And all of us came together and we each bought a chair in the stadium, you know, in honor of somebody. So I haven't ever seen it. So the snow is good enough. So my friend Jill is going to pick me up and we're going to go down and take a look at this building and just be happy for it. So that's where I'm going. And I know you all have another class immediately, but I think, did everyone feel, I felt I learned a lot today. Did everyone feel they learned something important today?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I think I had an aha moment for myself a few times. So, oh, hello, how are you? So everybody work on your aha film for brother, Father Khaldun, right? Think about something like, it could be something you just suddenly thought of today. It should be something you've understood, and it's going to help you in your life, in your inner life, help you to be better, the real golden heart that you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to look at the YouTube channel?
The one, the club thing?
Yes, and because like Mustafa said, we are editing all the videos and also kids' reflections. We are uploading them to YouTube channel. So,
oh,
yeah.
Could you send it to me, the link?
Yes, I will send it to you. Please, I mean, if there is anything, I mean, you advise us to make changes, we will. Because my friend in Pakistan, he does the editing part. Please, I mean, it's very, very amateur. So please let us know. Mustafa, yourself, please.
Thank you so much. Well, we love this. And we'll, of course, see you in America, and you'll come to Kentucky. But, oh, let's go to Turkey sometime together, okay?
Inshallah.
Or Greece or Bosnia, you know, the whole thing. I mean, I just was in Bosnia recently, and Turkey both, but I've not been to Macedonia. Macedonia is near Kosovo, isn't it?
Yeah, just south of Kosovo.
Yeah, boy, what a world. What a world. Yeah. Amen, and love you all.
Thank you so much.
Have a lovely day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, kids.
Thank you.